of your value, things to make you agree. Like them people that like protesting right now, they got the like flag, like you can always tell when somebody has weak values. Those are weak values. You don't need to do that if you actually believe what you believe.
That's true.
Okay. But it has different levels.
Message. That is true.
Right?
I like
so
that. I like this.
When like you're like something affirmed, like I needed this. Like I knew that bitch was fucked up from day one. Because you believe she was.
But him not trusting you don't mean that he think that you messed up.
No, because
him not trusting you is because
you want to believe, because there's a part of you.
You know what it is? Sometimes, like, for my logic, it was, listen, my mom lied to me and said that Santa Claus exists just for me to be okay, to grow. Her excuse was, well, you're just a child, and you know, it's a little white lie.
We gonna go that deep?
No, I'm just, you know, that's how I'm welcoming you into the barbershop for a second.
No, I mean, we never lied to our kids.
Listen, but we talking about majority of people told that tale that Santa Claus exists. So if you really start,
I ain't tell to my kids.
That's why I said we never lied to our kids.
I said maybe y'all did. And there's a lot of people who didn't. Like, you got Muslim children who don't. You got staunch Christian children that don't. Like,
so, but we're talking about you right now.
But we're saying in general, like, I done heard this in the barbershop, men saying, listen, my mom lied to me before. Do you think that now just to protect my feelings, do you think that a woman who don't have that type of deep connection
oh my God, dude, shut up.
No, listen, y'all heard that plenty of times before.
If I may.
So they like.
So people go back to Santa Claus details.
Guess what?
My mom lied to me.
But psychology, what do they say? People go back to the first 7 to 12 years of their life.
No, people go back to what makes their reality work for them.
What? Which is the first 7 to 12 years?
No.
Which is the first 7 to 12 years of their life?
People, nigga, they will go back to the future. If it make their reality work right now, we'll be Back to the Future Part 7.
That's my wife.
No, that's
lies they tell themselves.
Listen, I can feel you on that. Listen, I feel you.
I promise you. Like, dude, like, shut up. Not you.
No, I got you.
I got the barbershop. My mother lied to me. Like, shut up.
Now, I heard that so many times.
You a whole 30 years old.
I heard that so many times at the barbershop.
And you talking about your mother lied to you.
No. I heard a 50, 60-year-old,
nigga,
70-year-old woman say that.
It's dude.
Hey, yo. Listen, I heard a older gentleman who been married for over 60 years said, you know why?
Okay, he never got past that.
Yo, he said, you know why?
He said, you know
why I stayed in the marriage for that long?
Why?
And this way he asked the question, and I asked him. I said, why? He says, because I don't trust her no farther I could throw it. He said it helps me sleep better at night.
I'm sure.
So basically, something he feels like he's in control.
He said,
he's in control of,
which a lot of men do. It doesn't take trust for them to stay with a woman.
No, I know. Like, I agree. Like, everybody has different motivating factors. Yada yada yada. But like, dude, like, stop using nonsense justifications. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah.
So.
You're so rude. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, my bad, guys.
That is like
I gotta check. You know, I got 3 daughters.
So okay, totally appropriate. It's okay.
I had to make sure.
So what's your next question?
No. I need to hear your
opinion about what?
Opinion about why do you think that women who only respect aggressiveness. I'm talking about those women, not all women. I'm just talking about those women. Unless you have to be a certain way, like really aggressive, and where do you think it comes from?
Okay, let me explain something to you. I grew up with older sisters, 3 older sisters.
Okay,
right.
I like to hear.
With a father who wasn't really daunting, right?
What does daunting mean for our viewing audience?
A doting, what is doting, right? Doting father. is a father who really babies his daughter, right? Doesn't
My father
expose
doted
her.
on me.
You know, he doesn't expose it to like the.
We can tell. We can tell.
You know, he doesn't expose it of the you know the devils of the world, and he's just coddling her and stuff like that as much as he can. Then you have the father that he loves you, right? But he would also show you like, look, it ain't sweet out here. Right? So that means that by the time you come to experiencing what the world is at, you know what I mean? You understand that we love you, and most like the people that will only love you the most will be us. After that, the world, you have to try to fight to accept it. So, like I said, I grew up with 3 older sisters. I also have a daughter myself. Right? Which I love dearly. Like, you cannot tell me shit about my daughter. Right? But at the same time, it's kind of like I can't let her know it's all good and sweet. Right? So with that being said, the little roughness that I do give to her.
Rarely.
I was about to say, because it was the last time I was here. Alright? You was just, man, she's somewhere else right now. I can't even say nothing to her.
Okay,
so that's another topic.
That's another topic because it comes down to accepting your child going through puberty, and you just have to not fight it because they're going through something. You gotta make it easier for them, right?
Okay.
Okay.
No, I got you.
So it's kind of like you also have to remember that you've been through that stage and how your parents made you feel.
Sound extremely like a dad. And I got you because I got 3 daughters.
Hold on.
I got you.
G's like the way my checking account is connected to my savings account.
That's what it sounds like. That's 100%.
It's fine.
And it sounds like the nice excuses that fathers make when it comes to their daughters. That's just junior.
It's not even an excuse.
It's okay.
You understand? You're not dealing with little nigga. You're dealing with your
daughter.
Nigga.
Because mothers deal with their daughters differently than the way fathers deal with their daughters.
At the same time,
just
the way
like
a
the
father,
boys.
it's like to say the same way the father should deal with his daughter in a way that he would want a man to respect his daughter.
Yo, 100%.
All right, so when a dude comes into the house talking about, listen,
but
me and her go together.
But Gene, you don't want your daughter to just be dealing with some wet dude, though.
That's why I'm explaining to you what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, my bad, Gene.
So what I'm saying is, you have to show a level of love and respect. At the same time, a little bit of sturdiness.
Most men probably don't care. My fault. Most men probably don't care. Yeah, my daughter run that shit.
No.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. If my daughter
that's biased. Hey yo, that's first of all, that's because it's coming from a biased situation. First of all, it's coming from a biased situation. First of all, you biased, and most fathers get biased. That's why you need balance. That's why you have to have mommy and daddy involved because it's balance that comes.
But there's so many circumstances that come from this. Hold on.
Then you start feeling sorry for the guy.
No, I'm not gonna feel sorry for the guy because if I know I'm raising a strong daughter, then she needs to grab somebody who's stronger than her. It's kind of like not somebody to control her, but to somebody to help her fucking.
So what happens if you see the man coming in with black eyes and all of that? Jay?
He deserved it.
That's like non-violent. Non-violent.
Know what I'm saying? But I'm at the same time, I ain't raising no bitch.
Right?
Non-violent.
I ain't raising no bitch.
With him.
Like my daughter's gonna grow, and right now she ain't no shit to play with.
I promise you.
She ain't no shit to play with.
I promise you.
listen. Hopefully, God willing, He will have us around to make sure that we keep guiding to the point where she doesn't need more guys. It's kind of like that rocket going up, and it got the fuselage on the side to help it boost up. Once it gets to a certain point, the main fuselage blows off, right? And it keeps going forward.
No, but I'm laughing because I'm hearing it from a father's point of view.
It's lovely.
And listen, I'm hearing from a father's point of view. And I'm kind of hearing I agree with you. Hold on, wait. Let's be cool. A guy with 3 daughters. I agree with you. Some of this, 99.9% of this.
By the way,
but it is a point.
Has always been strong.
It is a 0.0001%. I disagree with you, but I hear the bias.
Okay.
No,
Listen,
no.
There's no bias.
Babe.
There's no bias. There's no bias.
Bro, you just said
no.
if the man comes in here with a black eye, he deserves it.
He probably deserved it. I'm telling you why. No, because knowing my daughter, knowing the way that I'm raising her.
But what if he didn't put his hands on her?
She's not an abuser.
But what if he didn't put? Oh wait, just talk 2 seconds, cause y'all talking from a. Let me create the situation.
If he didn't put no hand,
let me create the situation, not y'all. All right, cause y'all, of course, y'all gonna create the situation for y'all. Mm-hmm. I'm saying the man didn't put his hands on your daughter.
Scott would never.
All right, and the next, see, of course, of course, y'all talking about from y'all.
Let him talk.
Listen, just like a parent.
She wouldn't.
Now y'all sound like parents. Hold up, wait. Now y'all sound like parents.
No, go ahead.
Let me just say this. 2 seconds. Y'all remember I had my summer camp, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I had parents who swore that their child didn't do nothing wrong. Uh-huh. And I had parents who know that their child who did something wrong, but still act like their child had done nothing wrong. Like I met so many different types of parents.
Okay.
Right.
So do you? And then I have parents who believe how their child act in front of them, and it's different from having how their child act when they not run with them.
Nope.
Like y'all forgot when y'all was children.
No. Let me tell you something. Like we know. Let me tell you something. Like we've had situations where we're talking about Sky. Like when she was younger, a situation happened. Uh-huh. Like Sky punched a girl in the face. Mm-hmm. I got a call. Mrs. H. We have a situation because they were in private school at the time. Uh-huh. I was like, all right, cool. Like whatever. I'm coming. So I get to there, and then the teacher's like, Mrs. H, stop for a second. Jean knows I can get real, like, I'm not to be fucks with.
Listen, she's already rolling to the school. There's a barrel of roller fire behind us.
When it comes to my children,
of course,
I'm not the one.
Like,
okay.
So then I'm like, excuse me, I'm going to talk to my daughter real quick. Sky, come here. Come and tell me what happened. Just me and you. And Sky's like, essentially, this is what happened. I'm going down the stairs and she pushes me. I fall down the stairs. Like I fall. I catch myself. I get up. I punch her in her face. She falls back. And I was like, cool.
Okay.
That's it.
Like that's it.
Listen, nothing wrong with that.
No, exactly. Yeah. But
you still gotta fight the school.
No, it doesn't even matter. No.
At that point, you gonna ride with your children.
That's it.
But I've also had situations where it's like, what happened? Boom, boom, boom. This is what happened. You're wrong. Mm-hmm. You're wrong. And let me tell you something. And when I tell you like fire, like you will never like be that person. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. And what you will do, you will apologize. You will never be that person that does that to somebody else. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. Like the rage that comes out of me, my kids will be like, I don't fucking play. So I'll be like, do you hear me? They'd be like, yes. And then we go in, they'd be like, okay, like I was acting out of character. So like that's fine. Like I'm not a person, I'm not blind. Because I want my children to be well-rounded adults. Like, if you are fucked up and you did wrong, I will be, like, I'm not going to berate you in front of everybody. But one-on-one, I'd be like, you fucked up. Do you hear me?
That's not how
what you did? Like, I won't ever want to hear you do that shit again.
Public. If I act out in public, my mom's right in publicly.
No.
But see,
that's that old slavery.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is, if I act out in public,
because they want you to be shamed.
I got discipline in public because cool.
No, you guys continue.
If I act out in public, I got discipline in public. In other words, I had to address it publicly. Right. Because if it was privately, then she would just have me address it privately.
I get that aspect though. But if you did something public, if you did something stupid publicly.
No, you gotta address that.
Now you gotta
publicly.
address it publicly. I completely understand.
Which actually built character because it allows me to not have my pride because other people are around. If I'm wrong, I
You're
can say that
wrong.
I'm wrong. You know what?
That's a good concept. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's definitely a good concept.
Like, and I just admit that when I admit when I'm wrong. And
so
example,
with that have being said, you've gone through that process. So
I've been in that process. No, I've been in that process. Well, look what I was just about to do earlier. Prior to, I'm not gonna go into details, but what's the name? I says what I said. Well, I would when the camera come on and the whole 9 yards. I want to say that I was wrong. We talking about the fraternal and identical twins because I'm used to. I really thought that the camera was on for a second, I'm not a person to apologize privately if I did something publicly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to go right back.
I mean,
to the
you've
same,
gone through the course of understanding that if you did something publicly, then publicly it needs an exchange of an apology.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So I get it.
So that's my thing. Like, and I have no problems. What I think one thing that it did for me, growing up, I never was ashamed to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I don't mind telling someone, yo, no, I was wrong.
I was wrong. But that's how you move on. That's how you learn.
100%. I think the greatest thing comes from it is being able to show someone that I'm willing to change my thoughts will improve.
It's not even about the someone. It's about yourself. You can show yourself
that I'm willing to change to prove wrong. I mean, to change my mentality based upon me being proven wrong.
Right, and therefore you're able to grow within yourself and project and do more than you thought you could do because now you accepted the fact that you're not right at everything.
No, that's true, 100%. So, what do
vulnerability?
You think, why do you think that some women only respect aggressiveness?
So coming back to that, I feel like I didn't answer it 100%, but
100%.
With the example I was giving before is that when I tell my daughter certain things and I'm not kind about it, I'm real strict about it.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets a man that is enforcing certain type of rules, that is right, because she already understands what's right from wrong.
That's true.
What is acceptable and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So when a man comes in and enforces his dominance, but it has to be proper in dominance. Not like because I'm putting in dominance because I'm lacking something.
Or just because I'm a man.
Just because I'm a man.
Yeah.
No. I'm coming in because I'm supposed to be your man, your protector, your guidance in the possibly chance of you not being able to guide yourself because you are yourself a strong being, woman, right? So that's how we got together. So with that being said, when you're raising prime children, when it comes down to education, when it comes down to counseling, when it comes down to what do you call that? Mind frame, structure, right? That can only be paired up to do greatness when it's the same thing. It might be a little bit of off balance, but that's how shit works. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when a dude comes into the relationship and puts his dominance into a woman's life, it has to be something that is completely paired. It was meant to be for that. There's the wrong dominance and there's the right dominance. Right dominance is, okay, you're weak and you're feeble, whatever, and I'm coming to just run your life. You got the dominance that comes in like, I see what you're doing, I'm here to match you up. But at the same time, do allow me to speak because I could see certain things a little bit more than you can.
Are you talking about like maybe insecure dominance and like secure dominance?
Right.
I feel like I just came up with something.
You probably did.
Probably did.
You probably did.
Like secure dominance and insecure dominance.
Which I kind of mentioned a little bit.
Right.
Okay? You got the insecure dominance where the guy's like, I'm the man, you gotta do what I say, and
Right.
you know, blah, blah, blah. Then you got the secure dominance where he comes in, he knows where you stand, he knows how strong you are. And all he wants to do is empower and help you move further while he's still being the man without having to say so.
But the thing is, here's the thing that I think a lot of men don't understand. That women, or most women, healed and, you know, whatever. Not all, but most women will like relinquish themselves to a man, right?
Right, as long as it's...
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you talk about secure dominance and insecure dominance, you have the insecure dominance, like, I'm the man. I'm here by
Which
right.
you just was saying.
Like, I'm by right of whomever or whatever, like, whether you use religion or whatever. Submit to me, I'm the man,
Yeah,
right?
that's not how that's supposed to go.
And that's the insecure dominance. But when you have secure dominance, he doesn't even look for that. You never came and said, submit to me.
Right.
You never came and was like, do this. You never once was like, do this. Right? I willingly relinquish to you.
Can I say something for 2 seconds? Not to cut your wisdom. You making a great point is what I always say in the barbershop. If a man has to tell a woman that he's a man,
Then
in
you're
a
not a man.
relationship, then you're not being a man.
Right.
A general or a leader or a boss don't go inside the company and say that, oh, I'm the boss of this listening. You just know it. Even if the employee never met the boss,
Right.
the way how the person operates, or you seeing the person, you know he's somebody. Even
Right.
if you
Right.
don't know he's the number one person,
Right.
you know this is someone above you.
Right.
But like that, right? And stature. I'm not talking about as a person,
Right.
Because we all equal as people,
human beings.
As human beings. You make a really good point about submitting. I always say, and because we're black, when we always deal with black people, men in the barbershop always talking about, oh, black women, they don't submit, they don't X, Y, and Z. I said, well, you just not the right rider. And they were like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I view like the black woman as like a wild stallion, the black horse. The one that she don't submit to just any nobody.
Right.
You got when you watch those movies of those black horses, those black stallions,
Yeah.
it's a certain rider that comes.
Right.
And that certain rider didn't come and have to be super aggressive.
Right.
He's definitely a paid actor.
Right? He just came and he touches the horse a certain way.
Right.
He massages the horse nose a certain way. He rubs on
He
the
knows.
horse. He knows
Right.
how to treat a horse.
Right.
And
Right.
that black stallion horse submits to her rider.
By choice.
By choice. She never was forced to do it, as you were just saying. She made the choice, or she felt as though that was her choice to do so.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I always when you said what you just said, it
I
made me just
remember.
think about what I always say inside the barbershop. It's like, bro, you just not the person.
Dude, like,
I kind of respect you tonight.
oh my, just tonight.
Damn, all these years, brother.
I know, that's just a tough one. That was a tough one.
Nah, I'm fucking
I'm
with it.
crying.
No, like, I agree, but I feel like a lot of men, because of their ego, feel like it's an inherent right, and it's not. And maybe, yeah, I'm sure you could aggressively use whatever leverage you have, whether you support a woman financially, whether you know emotionally she's fucked up, so you got her on that, like whatever. Like if you have to use leverage to make a woman submit to you,
then you
just know she does not willingly submit to you.
100%. It's
like,
not willing.
If you ever have to use leverage, whether it's financial, emotional, physical, anything that you have to use to leverage that submission, it's not true. It's not organic.
That is not 100.
And so, like, when a person truly is like, you're my husband, you're my partner, and I give this to you. I trust you enough to give this to you. Like it's like it's a trust. It's an intimacy.
You know, we say something in Islam. We say Islam. There's no compulsion in Islam. We don't we don't force anyone to do anything, because when you force someone to do something,
it's not real.
You make a hypocrite out of that person, and eventually you will find the hypocrisy in that person. Here go a person that's with you that's been doubting the whole entire time, and doubt is the mother of hypocrisy.
Right.
So, it could be 20 years.
Right.
You'll be wasting 20 years.
Right.
Because eventually that person gonna come to a breaking point. And when that breaking point comes, you can be like, well, you did. Then you realize this person only did it for you. They didn't do it for themselves.
Right.
So you don't, I 100% agree with you about, you don't have to try to use leverage over a person.
But most men do, though.
Because they don't know. Because now it goes to the point. Now we ask, why are some women only responds to a man that's aggressive in that manner, right? Or act in that manner. They only respond in that manner, or to those type of guys.
So maybe I didn't fully answer that question when you did ask it, but what it comes down to is this: if a girl comes from a parental relationship where the father's always aggressive, right? So now his bark, is not as loud as his bite, and then he finally does bite, and she gets used to that besides the bark, right? So now you're gonna need somebody tougher than that to deal with a bark and a bite, because they're used to that. So what else you got to bring?
They're used to the aggression.
They're used to the aggression.
So essentially, aggression shows me that you love me.
100%. Some females really believe if you don't put your hands on them that you don't love them.
I don't know about hands.
No. What he's saying, I heard that from a lot of.
That if I heard women, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, on Twitter, I heard, and I plenty of times, a man physically attacking you, rather you provoke them, rather you hit him first, or you didn't hit him first,
right,
shows a sign that he loves you. And that's actually, and people mix love of thinking, you have sick love out there. Right?
It's just toxic.
And it's just, you got toxic love. And doesn't mean that somebody don't love you, but they just don't know how to love you. When I say that, if a person don't love themselves properly, they truly can't love you.
They don't know how to love you until you show them how you think you love.
100%.
So, for example, listen, what you just said, I've known I don't know how wild it is or how common it is, but I've known 2 Jamaican women, right? That until the dude actually put hands on them, they didn't feel like the dude actually loved them, because they came from such a rough background.
Bruh.
Like the dude has to nearly kill them in the process of making love or having sex,
because that's
for
what
them
they
to feel like
that's what
they are
see.
appreciated.
Yeah, that's right.
Or whatever, and it's kind of like it becomes the norm for them.
Because now the root of that, Now look at this. We started off by asking women only responding to aggressiveness, or women only seeing other women in control, or their mothers or their grandmothers in control of the household. And from my point of view, also a fact, because my opinions always come from some type of research or facts. On a plantation, the person who ran the plantation, really in reality, that the slave master had under control, but also allowed run the slaves,
was a nigga.
Was a woman, but big mama on the plantation.
Okay.
The one who he was having sex with, the slave master,
Who would also be respected on the field because
because what she would did was, even if she had a husband that was a field nigger, or even if she had when she spoke, she was trying to protect the slaves from getting beatings, because she felt as though that because she was having sex with master,
right?
And then she would come out, and instead of the master getting mad and whipping on the slaves, sometimes Big Mama or the mother who was having sex would shield them by being the person come out. And if you watch those cartoons or if you watch those paintings, you see Big Mama pointing at a grown man yelling at him on a plantation, and she was doing that for these hundreds of years not to shame him, but to protect him from getting actually beaten or murdered from the slave master or the whoever the slave master had in charge, another white, what they call it, I forgot what they call it, but one of those white boys that was like on the plantation,
a ranch
hand?
Yeah, like the manager of the ranch or whatever, right? So
something like that.
He so for hundreds of years of doing that, and then also placing things in systems of where you don't actually need a man. You can, and it was sickening. I remember this when I was 18 years old, which is why I was always mindful. I didn't have children early, and I remember I was 18 years old.
You're 32.
32. Now, I was on the 114 bus coming from work.
Like that?
You're so young.
Right? I was on the 114 bus, and I heard this girl who was pregnant. She was couldn't be no more than 4 months pregnant.
Okay.
And she was like, "Yeah, I don't need that nigga. Like, he told me he wanted to marry me. I'm not trying to be with that nigga. I'm gonna put him straight on child support." That alone
struck a nerve.
I was like, wow. And when I heard that, it made me put things in perspective. It made me realize females, some women, and you know, it's a difference of hearing it when you growing up in a